That is on your captain. This is on your captain. This is the captain that you lot want. This is the captain that's reliable. This is the captain that epitomises Tottenham. This is the captain that needs another deal. We love him. He kicks people, innit? That's your captain. Now, I wish I did a video to follow up on the podcast that I was on the other day, but this is what I was saying, and I got pelters. I had people saying to me, Romero, he's Tottenham till he dies. This is a Romero that put out a statement simply because he cares about Tottenham. This is a Romero that gets a red card on average every 20 games. Cares about Tottenham. This guy gets suspended all the time. Yellow cards all the time. Cares about Tottenham. This guy will be injured, but then go and play for Argentina when he's on his recovery. Cares about Tottenham. This guy's agent flirts with the Spaniards and wants to go to Atletico Madrid and got Simeone chatting his name. Cares about Tottenham. I'm not speaking for all Tottenham fans, but most Tottenham fans are just so small-minded, small mentality. How is it that you think that this guy is the epitome of Tottenham? Now, if I'm going to speak positively on Romero, I like that he has, let's say, the heart of a lion. I do like that because whether I play football or do things in life, that's me. I like to wear my heart on my sleeve. But I will never play football and go around kicking people till they get injured. I won't be getting sent off 6 times, 7 times, 8 times in a span. In my life, I've been sent off, 4 times? And I've been sent off 4 times, 3 of them for running up my mouth and 1 of them for a horrible tackle. But there was no intention towards that. I remember sitting there with the player. The player even said to me, you know what, even though I've got a dead leg, I know that you were playing fair, but the challenge was a challenge. Simple as that. The other time, it's just been running up my mouth on a yellow card. 4 times. And I've probably played more football matches in my career than he has Premier League games. But he's been sent off 6 times. They've got technology, they've got all of that. But I'm supposed to call on this guy. I had a conversation with my cousin a lot of time ago. I think my cousin can't stand him more than me. But he's from a neutral, so he can understand it. My cousin was leaving me a voice note today saying, from an outside looking in, he's got no problem with Tottenham. On an outside looking in, it makes sense for Tottenham to part way, make a little profit on Romero and go. That was his words. And I'm agreeing with him. You look at how defensively we looked better today against Man United. We looked better with Dragusin and Van de Ven in there. Why? Because there was a level of calm. There was a level of fight. And because of that, even though we went and conceded another goal, you had the Spurs fans singing because they saw something. They saw some sort of resilience. Am I going to blame this game on Thomas Frank? No. I'm not going to blame it on him. I can still sit there and say that he was negative to start the game off. But even though we sat off, we did have chances. We had Conor Gallagher had a couple of chances. Solanke and Maguire, I liked the battle there. If I'm going to be honest to Man United, when they were coming forward, Bruno Fernandes, Cunha, Diallo, they looked dangerous, man. And Buemo, they did look dangerous. But regardless of whether we were lucky or not, it was 0-0. We could have rode our luck, took that into half-time. And if you look at the dynamics of the game, Man United deserved to win it, but they struggled with 10 men. And, sometimes it can be a struggle. But I look at it and think if we have another man on the pitch and we bring on your Tells, your Colin Moanis with 10, 15 minutes to go, just like we did. If we had 11 men at that time, we'd probably get an equaliser. We had a couple of chances with 10 men. So, again, is that on Thomas Frank? No. This is Romero. My thing is that I've had enough of Tottenham. I honestly have. I look at it and think, when it's my funeral, most people want their parents to turn up, or, you know, if they're still alive, they want their children, loved ones, siblings. Whenever my funeral happens, yeah, I want Tottenham players that have let me down over the years to take me down, so you can just let me down one more time in my casket, in the hole. Go and get Romero. Go and get whoever, you know, the Eric Dyers. All these players, just, you lot turn up and put me in a ditch. Let me down one more time. I don't want my family to let me down, because my family don't let me down. I don't want my friends to let me down, because they don't let me down. I don't even want my ex-girlfriends to let me down. I want Tottenham players to do, because they've let me down more times than anybody that I know. What are we doing? I don't want to, you know, we're going to see Romero on the pitch, because Thomas Frank is a little softy, and he's going to rub his back and, you know, put some Vaseline on his chest and go, oh yeah, don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. Now, people will say, you know, it's a debatable challenge. No, it wasn't a debatable challenge. You look at it in slow-mo and you can see he's lost control and his head's got hot and he's gone to cause damage. And if I'm honest, Casemiro's come out of there lucky. If I was Casemiro, I'd have punched him in the face and got sent off as well. I'm not having that. Someone tackles me like that, you're getting smacked, mate. That's it. I couldn't care less who it is. You could be related to me, man. And that'd be the only reason why I might give you a little bit of leeway. But even if you're my family, I'd expect more and smack you. What are you trying to break my legs for? Why are you trying to damage my ankles? I know it's Brazil, Argentina, but I don't care about that. This is Man United, Tottenham. We need points. West Ham are winning right now. What do you want me to do? Oh, but he's hard-bodied. No, he's just an idiot. But this is the thing. If you've got a captain as an idiot, a boss as an idiot, owners as idiots, you wonder why we're in an idiotic position. We deserve to be where we are. Tottenham are crap. I was watching my son play football today at a football party. Him and his friends were having a really good laugh. Good times. I was in the bar watching Man United Tottenham. Bare Man United fans. The only positive that came out of it is I met somebody that I ain't seen for ages, and I had a bit of banter with Man United fans in there. And my son had a good day with his friends, and he's in the living room with his best mate right now. That's the only positive, which is a good thing for a weekend. But I'm looking at it thinking is, why am I giving my energy to Tottenham? There's so much stuff that's happened today that's given me joy. What's the blemish? Tottenham again. If it's not the managers, it's the players. You know, if I'm going to be positive in any sense of the matter, there is players that you can see they're digging in and trying. You know, Xavi Simons, shout out to him. Digging in, trying to get things going. Even at 10 men, he was giving it a go. Pap Sarr, somebody that Thomas Frank clearly doesn't think is good enough, but then we played 2 games and look a lot more solid. Was Wilson Odobert the reason, the right player to be brought off? You know, we had 3 defensive midfielders on the pitch today, and he takes off our most attacking player when we've gone down to 10 men. We need an outlet. What does he do? Takes off the outlet. We need pace. As soon as he did that, you've told me, even though it's 0-0, the game's gone. So is Thomas Frank culpable? I'll let him off this week, but he shouldn't be here anyway. He's crap. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's jumping around and getting excited because we had a shot and the keeper catched it. What do you want me to do? Now, there's going to be Tottenham fans or fans in general going, oh, you're throwing your toys at the pram. I'm not throwing my toys at the pram. I know what I want in life. You know, for me, when I'm watching my son play football, he knows full well I'm not going to be aggressive with it, but I don't stand for mediocrity. You know, if he misses out on a tackle, I won't go mad at him, but I'll be like, Ost, come on, next time, man, we can't have that. And because I do that, the next time he gets into a 50-50, he wins a tackle and sets up an attack. Why is that? Because I ain't settled. Thomas Frank settles. So it's one of the ones, Austin, if Thomas Frank was his dad, or if I had Thomas Frank's mentality, he'd miss a tackle and he'd go, ooh, good effort. How's he going to get better if I just keep going good effort when he keeps missing tackles? You know, if my son misses shots, I'll say good effort, but I'll be like, hey mate, come on in. Next week we're going to go in the garden and we're going to have some shots. We're going to work on your accuracy, your shooting, and all that stuff. If you want to score goals and that's what you see yourself doing, let's go outside and practice it then. But Thomas Frank can't do that. Thomas Frank is definitely patting Romero on the back going, it wasn't a foul. Romero is an idiot. The quicker he goes to Spain, the better. So what do we do now then? I'm a Spurs fan. What do you want me to do? Put in the comments, what do you want me to do? We've got Newcastle at home, who we don't really get a result at. We've got no Romero, which I'm glad at, but people will be like, oh, we've lost our captain for 3 or 4 games. Good. I hope we lose him forever. Stick Dragusin in there. He might not be as good, but he cares. Drag us in somebody that might see himself being sold and saying to himself, do I really get... Am I going to play for a better... You know, for a bigger club, than Tottenham? Probably not. Would Juve take him back? Maybe. He'll end up at Atalanta, a Torino, if he fancies going back to Italy. Does he? Would he look at that as a safe option, or would he want to try it, do what he's doing at Tottenham? So he'd want to try and secure himself at Tottenham. Let him play. Now, if he has a good game against Newcastle, he has a good game in the North London derby, and then I believe we've got Fulham after that. If he has 3 good games, regardless of the result, leave him in. I don't want to see Romero. Romero needs to sit on the bench, and if you're going to cry about going Atletico, you can go to Atletico, but you ain't playing anymore. So Simeone going to take you if you're on the bench and you're holding bench to Dragusin or Danso when he comes back. Hold bench. Hold bench. I don't want to see you no more, man. Purposefully, like I said to everybody on that podcast, remember me. I'm not going to name no names, but you lot remember. I said clear as day, you're going to find out really quickly that Romero's doing this for himself and he's using the club. You know, how dare he criticise what other people are doing? Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. You're doing stupidness. That's like me being a crap dad, a crap team leader at work, a crap man in general, but criticising the next man. What? Look, come on, man. I wish I could sit with Romero. What? Because he can tackle hard. I can tackle hard. What? Does that make me Vinnie Jones then? No. Does that mean that Romero can beat me up? No. I'd love to sit in the room with him and go, what's your problem, bruv? And have a Spanish translator and go, do one then. Ta-ta. Whatever it is in French. Just Spanish, sorry. Just do one. I've had enough of us taking on passengers. Physically, mentally, pitch-wise, board-wise, chairman. It's a disgrace. You know, I'm going to end it by saying fair play to Man United. Man United have shown, and I always believe that when you look at Man United and the players that they've got, I never understood how Almiron was getting crap football out of them. Never understood it. But they're doing their thing. You know, they look really good. They were playing some good football. Kobe Mainoo, resurrection. Bruno Fernandes doing what he's supposed to do. He's not a withdrawn midfielder. He's a number 10 and he's dangerous. You know, and Mbuemo, striker, brilliant. You know, if they had Patrick Dorgu today, that could have been a different thing. Casemiro reborn. Fair play to Man United, man. Harry Maguire, mate, respect. The amount of cussing that people get, no one's chatting about him now. Keeping clean sheets, solid. So I'm always going to respect the opposition. I don't like Man United, but I'll always respect them. Do you know what I mean? They were a club in my childhood that were levels. Simple as that. They were Fergie, Scholesy, Rooney, Ronaldo, you name them, legends galore that I watched. And as much as I hated them, you learnt about football watching these guys. So fair play to them. But when I look at our squad, I think we could have done damage, and we just had a captain that don't care about what happens with Tottenham. We had a manager doesn't really care about what happens with Tottenham, and I'm getting to the point where should I really care about what happens with Tottenham? Jacob 101 up top. Have a blessed evening. Love, like, comment, share, subscribe. All the best.